Ciao a tutti, hi everybody. My name is Andrea Ghedina and I am a plant breeder and co-founder of Smarties.bio, an R&D company based in Italy, near Venice, mainly involved in leaf vegetable. I want to thank Lane from the Culinary Breeding Network for the great opportunity she gave me of being a speaker of the third virtual edition of the Sagra del Radicchio. My speech will be mainly involved in Radicchio history and types, and I hope you will enjoy the speech. Radicchio is a traditional European horticultural crop, and even if it is not autochthonous, he had a sort of evolution and developing different types and varieties. According to the use and the purpose they are grown for, we can divide the chicory in 4 groups: root chicory, forage chicory, wheatloaf chicory. It's curious that in Italy we call it Belgian endive, but it is not endive, it's chicory, and leaf chicory, usually known as radicchio. According to another division, for the botanical way, Chicorium intybus, subspecies intybus, can be divided in variety Foliosum, that traditionally includes all the cultivar groups whose commercial products are leaves, like wheatloaf chicory, or sugarloaf from the variety Porphyrium, Catalonia, the variety Silvestre, and Radicchio variety Latifolium. Otherwise, the variety Sativum, that includes all types whose commercial product are roots, can be differentiated in type for industrial transformation, so inulin extraction, or direct to human consumption when roasted, can be used as a substitute of coffee. I try to give you an hypothesis of the Radicchio phylogenesis based on morphological characters and also molecular marker analysis. The cultivation of red chicories dates to the first half of 16th century in the Venetian territories. After spreading the nearby territories, the original type differentiated into well-characterized types. First of all, we have a common ancestor, that is the Rosso di Treviso, that by mass selection was divided in Rosso di Treviso tardivo and Rosso di Treviso precoce. These two types the name are not related to the cycle, because tardivo means late and precoce early, but we nowadays have varieties with early or late cycles on both types. So from the Rosso di Treviso tardivo, by mass selection, choosing the mother plants, the types that were more closed, more overwrapped, we obtained the Rosso di Treviso precoce. And at the same way, we obtained the Rosso di Verona, that if you have a look at the picture, is really similar to Rosso di Treviso precoce, but just shorter. And all the characters, starting from the leaf and the midrib, are really similar, except the size. We don't know if by chance or due to human will, we had some crosses with Escarole, Chicorium endivia, that is interfertile with Chicorium intybus, and we obtained the variegated type. Variegato di Castelfranco is the most famous, but we also have a type that is more close, that is the Variegato di Lusia, And by mass selection in 1930, we added the variegato di Chioggia. In the past, it was very different from the type we know today. It was a sort of wild chicory with an extremely late cycle, and it was ready for harvesting by late February or March. And then two lines of selection started from the variegato di Chioggia, one choosing the plants without dots, so just white plants obtaining the bianco, that means white of Chioggia, and the most known rosso di Chioggia, choosing the plants with a lot of red dots till obtaining completely red plants. The red of Chioggia, as I already said, is the most widespread and very extensively grown type. And the other types that are all Radicchio are a sort of well-differentiated group of chicories with red or variegated leaves that are traditionally cultivated in Italy. The commercial seed is mainly utilized outside the typical area of origin, where otherwise usually farmers still use their own seed that maintain through yearly conservative selection and on-farm seed production. The majority of commercial varieties are open pollinated populations. But in recent years, both synthetics and hybrid varieties have been put on the market. After this first introduction, I want to show you all the most important types of Radicchio. The Rosso di Chioggia, that is the most common and most well-known all over the world. I want to cite you some very important characteristics. For example, the completely round shape and the red color that don't have to be variegated green or brown. Another important characteristic is the midrib that have to be completely white and as small as possible. Rosso di Treviso Precoce is another really important type. As I already said, we have both Precoce and Tardivo, so early and late varieties and cycles in this type, from 60-70 days from transplanting to 130 days. Rosso di Verona is another really nice type. Here is a very traditional type, egg shape, oval, and really interesting for fresh market because of the texture of the leaf that is in the between of Chioggia and Treviso, so it has less fiber than Treviso but is more consistent than Chioggia. So it's really interesting to be used both raw or cooked. And another important thing is the size. The original Rosso di Verona don't have to be that big. As you can see from the picture where the Radicchio is held in my hand, that is not that big, like a Chioggia. Variegato di Castelfranco is one of the most nice type. The base color is creamy yellow with the brush stroke red dots. You can see from this picture how we present, how we sell it in Italy. It is completely opened, and this is a really important characteristic that we are focused on when we make selection, the ability to be opened. Nowadays we have self-whitening varieties and that are pretty closed varieties. Thus, we have to balance between yields and ability to be opened, as this is the proper way to be sold. You can help this operation by using warm water or holding the Radicchio overnight before making this operation in a warm environment. In the past, growers put the Radicchio for a sort of whitening and forcing process in the stable with the cattle because the environment was warm, and the Radicchio opened by itself. Variegato di Lusia is another variegato type, but more closed, not overwrapped like a Chioggia, but more closed than the Castelfranco. The shape is rounded oval. And the interesting thing is that nowadays there are not such early variety of Castelfranco. So for the opening season of the opened Castelfranco, some growers use some super early selections of Variegato di Lusia, like in the last pictures, and they open it trying to make something similar of the Castelfranco. Pan di zucchero or sugar loaf is another chicory, and in Italy we use it just for processing in the ready-to-eat bag salads, and we use it just because it allows really huge yields in the field. But I do prefer the Bianco di Chioggia to do the same thing due to the texture of the leaf and the taste of the leaf that is for sure better and a good alternative to sugar loaf. And to conclude, I want to show you some Radicchio specialties like the Rosa di Gorizia, that is a Radicchio that needs some forcing, like the Treviso Tardivo. In the original area of Gorizia, they do the process using humid sawdust, but you can force it in the water as well, the Tardivo. On the right, we have Variegato di Chioggia, that is an extremely late type, like in the past, and is really interesting in the production programs, to have some Radicchio till the end of the season, when no other types can resist to frost, months of frost, and you can harvest until March. Then we have the Tardivo type that you, I guess, really know. You need to harvest the plant with the roots in the field, and then put in some fresh water. Well, in the Treviso area, they have a lot of water that come freshly for free from the ground with a stable temperature, something like 12 or 14 Celsius. So the plant have a sort of warm condition in the winter and still goes on working and growing. And well, the core of the plants grow for from 1 week to 2 weeks in the water, in the dark, and comes extremely crunchy and sweet, and lose all the bitter taste. Then we have the puntarelle that comes from the Catalonia family. Here is really interesting because the commercial products are not leaves but are stems. So it is a sort of controlled bolting, because you don't want to, you need the stems, but you don't want flowering and bolting in the plant. So really strange situation. Then we have Catalonia. Here there is a picture of Gigante di Chioggia, and then the Rosa del Veneto, or pink Radicchio. Thanks for your attention.